If you ask a lot of people in the natural hair community what their biggest problem is, a lot of people are going to tell you that it's hair breakage. Hair breakage is a big issue for a lot of people in the natural hair community, and this is because when your hair breaks, you're not able to retain length. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about hair breakage, the causes, the things we do that cause our hair to break, and how to possibly prevent it. This is going to enable you to be able to retain the length of your hair, because I know a lot of people want to grow their hair long, but unfortunately their hair keeps breaking, and when that keeps happening, you will never be able to retain length. Now let's get into this video. I would like to explain something to you. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration so that you guys can understand what I'm saying. The thing is, your hair is always growing. Your hair will always grow. As far as you're still a living thing walking this planet, your hair will continue to grow. But the issue is, when your hair grows, it breaks at the same rate that it is growing. So at the end of the day, you are not able to retain length. So take it that this is your scalp, right? The surface of my palm here is your scalp, and I'm going to use my finger to demonstrate. So take it that this is the normal growth that you have. This is how long your hair is. So every month, let's say your hair grows an inch, but every month your hair is breaking. So as it's growing, it's breaking, and then your hair is going back to the normal state. Do you understand? So when your hair grows a little, it breaks and then it goes back. When your hair grows a little, it breaks and then it goes back to the normal length. So at the end of the day, you're just stuck at one length. It's not going anywhere. You're not able to retain length, and you get frustrated, you get tired, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. And at the end of the day, lots of people just decide to relax their hair because of this. Now, here are the major causes of hair breakage and how you are going to be able to take care of your hair whenever you find yourself in situations like this, or the things to avoid to make sure that your hair does not break. Number one is hair dye or bleaching. You know, a lot of people like to color their hair, you know, the ginger color, the gold color, and all that. But the thing is, hair coloring is an aggressive process. What it does to your hair is that it removes the pigment of your hair. You know, our hair is naturally black. Not everybody do. Some people are blonde, some people are red-haired, so it just varies. But for those of us that have black hair, by the time you dye your hair, the pigment is going to be removed from your hair shaft. But not only the pigment is removed from your hair, another thing that your hair loses when you dye your hair is the natural oils that helps to lubricate your hair strands, and also the moisture in your hair that helps to keep your hair healthy and helps to keep your hair moisturized so that your hair is able to thrive. So when you bleach your hair, you lose three of these things: your pigments, natural oils, and also moisture in your hair. Bleach hair requires a lot of care. So if you're someone that knows you're not going to offer a lot of care or take care of your hair properly when it's bleached, then I suggest you don't bleach your hair at all. Because by the time you bleach your hair or you dye your hair, you're going to discover that if you don't take care of it very well, you're going to end up with dull hair, brittle hair, and hair that is breaking. And I promise you, you don't want that for yourself. So if you're someone that loves to dye your hair, of course it's fine, you can dye your hair. Nobody is saying you shouldn't dye your hair. But if you're someone that must dye her hair, then I think, you know, usually when you dye your hair, you are still going to get new growth, and then your new growth is going to be the natural color of your hair. And then people that dye their hair, what they do in situations like this is that they go and dye their roots again. It's a good thing to always give your hair time to bounce back. So what I'm trying to say is that do not dye your hair often. Allow your hair to, you know, gain back its strength before you go back and dye it again. And then when you dye your hair, you want to make sure that you're taking care of it properly and you're doing treatment like deep conditioning treatment, because this is going to help add back moisture into your hair and make sure that your hair remains healthy. So it's really important that you learn how to take care of your hair when it's in the bleach state, or you're going to end up with hair that is going through breakage, and then you are going to end up with no hair, no length, absolutely nothing for you. So do make sure that if you love to bleach your hair or if you love to dye your hair, make sure you also give your hair the proper care it deserves so that your hair does not end up breaking at the end of the day and then you are not able to retain length. Next is excessive use of heat or heat styling. You know, it's no longer news that when you use heat tools on your hair is going to be dry, because what heat tools do to your hair is that they help you to dry out the moisture, especially things like blow dryers. When you use a blow dryer on your hair, it's going to help you dry up your hair faster. When you use heat tools like coiling irons, flat irons to style your hair, you have literally sucked every last bit of moisture that is left in your hair. So that is what heat tools do to your hair. Of course, it's okay to use heat tools on your hair, but the thing is, you have to reduce how frequently you use it. So for blow dryers, you know, it's really important for us to blow out our hair whenever we wash it, because it's not advisable to go to bed with your wet hair. It's not advisable. So when it comes to things like blow dryers, if you want to blow out your hair, you can blow it on low heat and also use things like heat protectant. But then, although that one is for heat damage, that is a separate topic on its own. So when you want to blow out your hair, it's either you blow it out on low heat or you reduce how frequently you blow out your hair. But I think due to the fact that we always need to, you know, dry up our hair so that we don't go to bed with wet hair, I always advise people that they should blow out their hair on low heat so that you minimize the damage that heat is going to do to your hair. And then you can also blow out your hair less frequently to also prevent that. So avoid heat tools, because what they do is that they dry the moisture from your hair, and at the end of the day they leave your hair dry and then leads to breakage. So you want to make sure you're cutting down on heat. But if you cannot cut down on heat when it comes to things like blow dryers, like I earlier said, try as much as possible to blow your hair out on low heat. Like for me, I wash my hair every 2 weeks, so you know that in an entire month I'm only doing a blowout on my hair just 2 times. So each month is just 2 times. If I'm using a blow dryer, it's just going to be 2 times. So the number of times you wash your hair is also going to determine how often you are going to use the blow dryer on your hair. Now this leads me to my next point. The third thing that dries up our hair so fast is overwashing. Overwashing of hair, that is using shampoo, is going to strip your hair of its natural oils, and the natural oils are really important. Your body naturally produces this. I've explained this in a couple of my other videos. So what overwashing your hair does is that it helps to it strips your hair of natural oils, which is not good for your hair. So shampoos that contain things like sulfate and parabens are even worse, because those ingredients are known to dry up your hair. So when you overwash your hair, I'm saying this for those of you that like to wash your hair every single day of your life, especially if you have an afro hair. Afro hair is not like that. If you are like a white person, I will understand. They wash their hair every day. Every day they get in the shower, they wash their hair. Although I know that some of them, they still have like a wash day routine for their hair. But you're a black person, you cannot afford to do that. And our hair requires a lot of care. So you cannot even just decide to wash your hair out of the blue. You have to plan the wash day process. So you want to make sure that when you are washing your hair, like the point that led to this point now, I told you guys I wash my hair 2 times in a month. That is 2 weeks interval. After 2 weeks I wash my hair. Sometimes I even go longer. You want to make sure you're not washing your hair frequently, because this is going to cause your hair to dry so much, and then it's going to eventually lead to breakage. You know that dryness is a root cause of breakage. When your hair is dry, it's going to lead to breakage. Do you understand? And then when you also do other things like combing it when it's dry, it's also going to lead to breakage. Now this leads me to my next point, which is detangling your hair when it's dry. I've spoken about moisturizing a lot in a couple of my videos. The thing is, this shouldn't even be something that I have to say again, because it's really important to moisturize your hair. And I think at this point we should know that you are supposed to comb your hair when it's damp. That is when you have hydrated it with water, gone in with your leave-in conditioner. And another tip for you is that when you moisturize your hair, make sure to use your hands to finger detangle, so that you can remove those knots and tangles with your hands before you go in with your detangling comb. So always make sure you don't comb your hair when it's dry, because this is going to cause your hair to break. Our next point is tight hairstyles. I've spoken about this a lot too in a couple of my videos. Apart from the fact that this affects your edges, it also causes your hair to break. Now tight hairstyles like ponytails, because those of you that like to snatch your face, and you know, and then you snatch your edges, and then you also snatch your hair. So ponytails are cute, they are nice hairstyles, but my advice is that if you want to do ponytails, not just ponytails, there are also other high tension hairstyles that put a lot of tension on your edges and also on your scalp. So when you are doing hairstyles like that, advise that you don't keep them in for a long period of time, and also don't make them frequently, so that you protect your hair from breakage. Because what these hairstyles do to your scalp and your hair, like I earlier said, is that they put a lot of tension, and then at the end of the day you start to experience breakage and also loss of hair around your scalp.
Edges.
You also want to make sure that you're being really careful when you're taking down this hairstyle. That is during the takedown process, when you want to loosen it up. So make sure you don't do high tension hairstyles, but if you must do not do them frequently, and also carefully take them down during the takedown process. And that is it for this point. Next point is towel drying aggressively. Now I made a video on a better option for you, because there are 3 options when it comes to drying your hair. It's either you use your normal bathing towel, you use your t-shirt, a cotton t-shirt, or you use, what do they call it now, why am I forgetting this? Microfiber towel, or you use microfiber towel. Now I made a video on a microfiber towel that I found is so convenient, so comfortable, is frizz free, and I'm going to link that video in the description. If you have not seen it, go check it out, see if it's something you can afford, and then you can also place an order for your own. So now when you towel dry your hair aggressively, this is going to cause a lot of frizz. Now towel dry, I'm referring to your bathing towel, because this is going to cause a lot of friction on your hair, lead to frizz, and eventually lead to breakage. So you want to be careful. If you must use your bathing towel, like I've said in my other videos, you want to be really careful. Do not dry your hair aggressively. You see how they dry hair in salons? These are Nigerian salons. The way they'll just be rubbing it in your hair. Yeah, please do not dry your hair like that. That is going to cause a lot of breakage for your hair. So if you must use the towel, cover it on your hair and just use your hands to gently press down on your hair so that the towel absorbs all the water from your hair, and you are good to go. That is not going to cause any breakage for you. It's as simple as that. And that is the only solution for you if you're someone who cannot afford a microfiber towel and you prefer to use your bathing towel. My solution is that you should always dry your hair gently. Next is harsh weather condition, and I've also explained this in some of my other videos where I said harsh weather conditions like Nigeria, our weather is always harsh. Hot sun, it's almost like your skin is getting burnt. So when you find yourself in a country like that, especially when you're stepping out of your house, like me, when I'm going to run market errands or when I'm going to be moving around and I know I'm not going to be in a car, I always tie my scarf. This is to help protect my hair from dryness. So if you are someone who is always out there in the sun, always make sure to protect your hair, not just from the sun to prevent dryness, and to also prevent dust or dirt from settling on your hair. So that is basically the only solution for this. So you want to make sure you're protecting your hair by covering a cap. It could be a hat, it could be a facing cap, whatever it is, or tying a scarf, and you are good to go. The next point is the trim of split or dead ends. Now split ends, those see-through ends, can be really dangerous for your hair. And usually when your hair starts to break, it starts at the end of your hair, and our ends are the most fragile and oldest part of our hair. When people overstyle their hair with things like flat irons, the ends of the hair take a lot of that, so they can be easily damaged. Now if you don't trim those ends off, it's going to break and get to the other parts of your hair. So it's really important to cut them off so that it does not break and damage the rest of your hair. Try as much as possible to get your split ends trimmed. If you can do it yourself, that is really cool, but if you cannot do it, then seek the help of a professional. There are salons of people that know how to take care of natural hair, so you can book an appointment with one of those and get your ends trimmed properly. Next is swimming in chlorinated water. Yes, swimming pool. Yes, those of you that like to swim with your hair out. Now if you want to get in a swimming pool, you want to make sure you are protecting your hair, because what the chlorinated water, that is the swimming pool water, does to your hair is that it strips your hair of natural oils, it causes your hair strands to be weak, and it also causes your hair to be dry, brittle, and also prone to breakage. So if you must swim in the pool, make sure you're protecting your hair. There are some of those waterproof cap that people cover. You can either do that or just don't dip your hair inside the water. I don't know, but these are the solutions for you. It's either you don't get in the pool at all, or you don't dip your hair inside the pool, or you cover something that is going to protect your hair and prevent that water from getting to your hair strands. And these are basically the only solutions for you. So if you're someone that loves to swim, you can choose from the other 2 options, and if you're someone that does not love to swim, then you're good to go. Our next point is stress and other health conditions. Now we know that stress overall is not good for the health of our body, whether be it hair or any other thing related to your body. We know that stress is not good for it. You see that when people start to experience a lot of stress, they tend to lose hair. It's common in the men actually. You see how these men with receding hairline, when they're like younger, you don't really notice that, but then when they start to grow older and they start to go out there and make a living for themselves, stress, the stress of carrying problems, girlfriend problems, family problems, and all that. And you see that at the end of the day, these men that once had very nice hairline, they start to have receding hairline. Before you say I'm only talking about the men, no, it's also the same for the women. It's also the same in every individual. As far as you're experiencing stress, it's going to cause you to lose hair. So it happens in both men and women. I just use the men to cite an example because, you know, those that bald hairline just be looking very funny. Stress can be the root cause of things like hair loss and also hair breakage. Now, it does not have to remain permanent. It does not have to stay that way. As long as you lower your stress level, if you're experiencing hair loss or hair breakage from stress, it can be resolved with simple lifestyle changes and having a proper routine and also using products that are compatible with your hair. But then again, the bad news is, if you are experiencing hair loss from health conditions like autoimmune disorder, maybe you have an autoimmune disorder, then in that case it can be a lot harder to be able to grow back your hair. The bottom line is, hair loss that comes from stress of, you know, going about your normal day every day, or stress that you experience in your daily life, it can be a lot easier to be able to grow back your hair. But stress that comes from autoimmune disorder can be a lot harder to reverse. I understand that we get caught up in life problems, issues, but try as much as possible to control your stress level, because a lot of people, when they start to lose hair, they don't even know what is happening. They are busy running around looking for products that will grow their hair back in 2 days, but they don't know that it's because of the stress their body is going through that are losing so much hair. So try as much as possible to watch yourself and make sure you keep your stress level on check. Our last point is postpartum hair loss. Now, this is common in women that just have babies. They tend to lose hair, but it seems it's a normal thing. It's just something that your body goes through after you have a baby, and then in the following months, maybe 3 to 4 months, you bounce back, your hair grows back, and everything becomes normal. So it's not something to really worry about, because people always come back from it. It's just a normal thing that your body goes through. But it scares the shit out of me, actually, because I am married, although I have not had any baby, and I am not even pregnant at the moment. But I think about it, I'm like, when I eventually have a baby, oh God, just thinking about it sends shivers down my spine. Like, it really bothers me, but I don't want to think too much about it. I guess when I get to that stage, I'll cross the bridge. I just hope I don't lose a lot of hair, because I'll cry. Just make sure to take care of your hair and you'll be very fine. Bonus points: those of you that like to over process your hair by doing keratin treatment, that is, when you overdo it, it's going to be bad for your hair. It's going to leave your hair dry and also lead to breakage. So try as much as possible not to overdo things like keratin treatment. Make sure to keep that in mind. And now we have come to the end of this video. Thank you for staying to the end. On this channel, we do everything surrounding natural hair, lifestyle, and makeup content. So if that sounds like what interests you, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I put out a new video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.